Hey guys, welcome back for another track guide for the V8 veterans, round 5 from Longbeach.
Like that sheriff's bloke, he's getting bloody quick. He's got a police escort.
Don't give me a big head, Wayne. I've done a 18.9 yesterday in the Mustang.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel for another track guide, as I said, from Longbeach this week. Before we get into it, check out my little Bathurst track. Made that during the week. Tell us what you think in the comments or whatever. But yeah, I quite like it, came out quite well, so needed something for the background, so came up with that. Anyway, into the track guide. Longbeach, for anyone that sort of I've talked to or knows me, yeah, I love Longbeach. Nice tight little street circuit. I just posted up this time. This is probably about 400th, 4/10, sorry, quicker than what I've ever done. So it's probably going to be smashed by a lot of guys. A lot of guys will get into the 17s, but for me, yeah, it's quite a decent lap. So pretty happy with that. My brake bias this week is 51.5, 51.7. Yeah, 51.7. There's a 50.2, I think was the standard brake bias, something like that. And I think this was my first lap out, as usual, after the outlap. So I think that's everything I need to tell you. Yeah, 18.4. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so I'll put that one down. So we're in the right view. All right, so coming down the main straight here, guys. I did get a little bit of a toe off Glen here. I was back a little way, but just onto the straight here, I was up by about half a tenth. So coming into the first corner, as you can see, already on the brakes, just really lightly. It's something I've noticed watching the track guides back. My brake marker is actually the 500 or just before the 500, maybe this little sign here. But can you guys see my, all right? Just make sure you can see my pointer there. Right. Yeah, so this little sign on the right here is my brake marker. But as you can see, I'm just really getting lightly on the brakes here. So I'm starting to just get off the brakes and just steady the car and then getting hard on the brakes at the brake marker there. Quite quickly down the gears as I want to get all my braking and downshifting done before the corner as usual. In a straight line, heading for basically Glen there. Trying to go dip your tyres over the right side of this. I think it's the white line or the blue line. Yeah, if you dip it into there, you'll get a slow down penalty. So just as close as you can get sort of to that blue line or the white line there. All the way back down to second. This can be a little bit of a tricky corner. Don't be tempted to turn in early. Obviously, don't come in really late as well. But with this one, because you're flat stick in sixth gear and you're coming down the gears so quickly, you think, shit, I've got to get into the corner. Just concentrate on getting the braking and your downshifting done in a straight line. Dum, down to second, and then looking for your apex and coming in. Just try not to, not to, like, say that's your corner. If you can say it, coming in, you don't want to, come in nice and early like this. You want to be like coming sort of more mid apex. It's sort of hard to explain, but yeah, you want to make sure you get that mid to late apex into the corner, basically, just so you get a good run out. Make sure you're accelerating just before or just on the apex as usual. So this is how it looked with me. Down the gears, as you can hear, quite quickly. Got all my braking done and then accelerating just before the apex there. Try not to lose the RC coming out of there as you'll hit the wall like I've done a million times. And it'll set you up for a shit race as your car will be pretty damaged. So with this one, I'm coming out of the corner in second. I click third, but I'm only holding for a split second, then back down to second. I just found if I hold it, you could probably hold second, but I just noticed for me, I just sort of, I don't know, for some reason, I just click third and then back down to second. As you can see here, you want to get nice and close to the wall. So I sort of come through, but sort of hold it out here just a little bit more, back down to second, and then coming in as close as you can here, but not heading straight for the fountain there. I come sort of around the wall to the left a little bit, back down to first, and then getting that mid to later apex on the fountain again. And it just gets you so much of a better run out of the fountain area here in first gear. As you should see here, I'll just go back a little bit. It's coming out nice and close. Coming around, as you can see there, I sort of bring the nose around and then coming back in. Just watch that with you're sort of not too hard on the brakes because it can make you tend to lose the RSN and then lose the RSN the other way. But yeah, so I'll just run that through that again. So I go from third, back down to second, back down to first, mid to late apex, and then getting a good run out of the fountain. Back down to second, back down to first. Nice and tight on the fountain there. And it's, as you can see, it's probably about right there, but you want to come around. You don't want to be coming around and being real close to this wall out here and then having to come back around and get back over to the left side of the track again. You want to be around nice and tight next to the fountain, just so that you get more of that straight line out, so you can just hug that left side wall coming out. So out in first, just be real careful out of that one. You don't want to plant your foot. You will lose the arse end. Once again, tap the wall and probably be out of the race. So coming out in first, hitting second and holding second, up to second there, as you can see. Off the brakes, my brake marker is, I sort of eyeball it. I've just sort of gone with what it feels like, but I've just noticed that probably at the end of that sort of black to brown wall there on the mesh fence, that's where I sort of start to get off the brakes around that area. So you want to get hard on the brakes, but not too hard. Just have a look at the telemetry there, guys. Pretty much with every track I've noticed, I'll push my brake markers. I'll just keep pushing in practice. And then I'll just come back like half a car length. And that'll be basically where I'm going to brake from there on in. It sort of tends to, you get used to that really late braking and you're like, shit, and trying to control the car into the corner. And then if you just bring back that little bit, get a little bit lighter on the brakes, I know you just get a lot more control into the corner. You can set up that later to mid to later apex and then just get that really good run out, as you see on this one. So just holding second, into this corner, mid to late apex, and then just getting a good run out. Try not to hit the curb here, as it is quite a big curb. You can take a little bit more than what I've done there, but try to maintain your speed through the corner there and just get a really good run out. Try not to hit the curb, as I said, it'll kick you up and shoot you into the wall. Just coming out into this next right-hander. So holding second once again. As you can see, I was pushing it sort of more. So brake marker's basically here at the end of the black wall again, and between those black signs, you don't want to go right up there, but it was right in the middle. I was pushing sort of more middle, but I noticed once again, if I dropped it back a little bit, got on the brakes a little bit early, especially with this one, it tends to go up like that a little bit, and then it comes around the corner, cambers off, and you got all those bloody curbs on the right that you have to jump, or I jump to get a bit more time. So yeah, it's a really unstable corner, this one. So I found if you can get your braking done just that little bit early, not too hard on the brakes, but just steadying the car up and getting that little bit of acceleration just to keep your line, keep the car steady, and you're off the brakes completely because you don't want to hit the curb when you're on the brakes. That will shoot you out. But that's basically how I sort of attack this corner. So in second gear, as you see here in real time, onto the brakes, getting the car turned. So as you can see, so if the corner's like that, if you can see my finger, so you're basically coming around, you're not coming in early, you're not coming in late, you're sort of hitting the 45, coming across, really hitting that curb, as you can see, taking a big chunk out of that. Don't drop your left-hand tyres inside the curb, as you'll get a penalty. But yeah, I take a big chunk out of it. It's something you really have to practice, this curb. As I said, it's off camber, it's got those big curbs, tends to want to unstable the car a lot. Just figure out what it is, what sort of acceleration you need to get through there, whether you're going to hold, like brake a little bit later, get off the brakes and then coast through the corner, or if you're going to, like myself, get on the brakes a bit earlier, and then hold a little bit of acceleration to get through the corner, and then once your car's stable and you're in a straight line, booting it out of there, getting a good run out. Anyway, that's about as much as I can say about that one. Just watch coming out. Yeah, as I said, it's a bit of a off camber. As you can see, the RSM wants to push out there. So coming down to this next left-hander, So once again, between the 2 and the 300, I usually go about middle. That's where I thought basically my brake marker was, but as you can see, I'm just slightly on the brakes at the 300. Tends to stable the car once again. In a straight line, just watch this one, as I've said in previous guides. The wall doesn't go straight, it comes down, kinks out to the left, then goes back in. So you're basically aiming not to be right on the wall here. You want to be out basically on this white line here, shooting in, and then just getting real close to the wall down here, just past the kink. And then trailing off into the corner. So I'm up into third gear here. Geez, I should know that. Fourth gear. Uh, back down to third, back down to second in a straight line. Make sure you get that braking done. You can probably do it a little bit later, but just make sure it's completely stable. You're not locking the brakes. I found with this corner, the more you push the brake marker, that you tend to lock the brakes, especially on the standard brake bias. And then as you're coming into the corner, you got a bit of compression and you start to come around the corner. And as you accelerate, you're already sliding a little bit, and then you start to slide out. This is not a corner you really want to slide out on, because you're trying to like get on that accelerator as hard as you can without losing the arse end. So basically, try to come down nice and stable on your braking, get back down to second, and then accelerating before the apex, as I should have done here. Hopefully, all the way back down to second. A little bit hard on the brakes there, as you can hear. The tires want to start locking up. That's basically another thing. That's how I pick my brake marker, or my brake bias, sorry, for every week. I tend to run with the standard. If it's not locking up really hard on the brakes, like not wanting to do that chirping into the corners, then I'm sweet. But if it is doing that chirping, then I'll run it all the way forward until I don't get that chirping. Then I'll come back about 0.4, something like that, just to get, I know that feels stable for me. It tends to help me get into the corner a little bit better, and without that lock up and that compression. So as you can see there, guys, without me talking too much, coming down nice and hard on the brakes, on back down to second, and then just coming in. Watch this wall. So you want to get a mid. I've come in a little bit early here with this one. You can probably hold your brakes a little bit longer and come more of a mid 45-degree angle through this corner, and then you want to get right around the corner completely before you start accelerating. With most of the corners on this track, yeah, make sure you're completely turned before you get back on the gas. Otherwise, you'll shoot wide, and it's just, you'd lose too much time. So coming around, getting that turning done completely. Don't go outside the rail. Try to sort of stay inside those, I call them the railway tracks. Me and Jeff call them the railway tracks. Try not to go outside that one on the right there. Try to sort of keep on that one, and then come back across to the left here. I'm sort of braking on about probably just on the 300, maybe a little bit after you could probably go if someone's right up your ass. But for a good quality time, yeah, maybe just after the 300. Once again in a straight line. I'm holding third through here. It will rev out. Don't worry about that too much. So holding third on your 300, on the brakes, back down to second. Quite hard, but you want to make sure that you're not braking too late, that you're going to be holding the brakes all the way into the corner and through the corner, especially with this one. Once again, there's curbs on the right there. There's a wall on the left side. So you got to make sure you've got all that braking done, car's stable, and then you're accelerating basically just on or just after that curbing there, and then getting really close to the wall, and then just getting a good run out. Just watch the arse end, as it can be a little bit slippery out of this one. It's coming into the corner, as you can see there. Back on the gas. As you can see there, that's what I was talking about, basically. You want to come in there, get nice and tighter than what I have. And then back on the gas, yeah, a little bit early, and just watch that arse end tweak out like I've done there.
Getting bloody quick.
Yeah, he is getting bloody quick. Thanks, Glenn. So into this next right-hander, third last corner. Between the 4 and the 500 meter board, I tend to sort of push the 400, probably for a quali lap. So I'm all the way up into 6th gear, I'm pretty sure. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Wow, it says neutral on my telemetry. Look at that. All the way up into 5th gear, sorry, down the back straight here. I'm at the 400, once again in a straight line, braking all the way down to second, and into the right-hander here. I'll try to take a really late apex into this one and take a big chunk out of these curbs. Just watch it coming through here. You want to make sure you're all the way around the corner. You hit the curbs and you're off them before you start accelerating, and make sure your car's in a straight line, because this one will want to, you'll get into a straight line. You'll think, oh shit, I can get back on the gas now, and you'll put your foot down, and then it just wants to still keep kicking your ass end out. So I tend to accelerate up to about 3/4. Probably on this one, I will make a liar out of myself. But we'll see what happens. So all the way back down to second gear here, guys. As you can see, taking in the late apex, I'm wide around the corner there, taking a big chunk out of these curbing. On these big So you got your painted bit here, and then you got your actual sausage type curves. Don't drop your left-hand tyres inside those, as you will get a slow down penalty. So into a later apex here, guys. Making sure the car's stable. So I got on a little bit earlier than what I actually thought there. So trailing off here, late apex. Okay, so spot in the corner, yep. Making sure the car's completely
They've got
stable
a
there, as you
Bluetooth
can
call.
see before I get on the gas. But yeah, want to come, so don't trail like wide over. You see, as you can see, I'm off the wall. I'm not right over to the wall. So I like to come around, sort of stay pretty much mid-track, maybe just a bit to the left, just so I can get a better run into this corner. Because basically, if you have a look at the phone, that's what the corner looks like. So you're coming in here, you're coming in. If you come in here, you got to come in here, and then you're going to come right out here, and then have to come right back in. So I come around, come sort of more mid-track, and then set up the corner so that you're nice and tight with the corner. Not that tight, but coming in nice and tight, and then you can set up that the entrance to the next or the last right hairpin, which is a pretty crucial part of the track. So
They've
coming
got a
through this one,
Bluetooth
keeping
call.
it nice and tight there on the left, nice and tight again here, and then I don't know, it's a little bit funny, this braking marker. I haven't really got a spot where I brake. I just sort of come around and go, oh, that's about a car and a half length from the end of this red and white curbing on the left, and then I just start getting on the brakes. It's not really hard on the brakes, probably about 3/4, back to first, and then getting a late turn in on this one. So I'll come in, as you'll see on this one, nice and hard on the brakes in a straight line, but you're almost getting level with the corner, and then coming around here like this. You don't want to come in here and then try to get all the way around the corner and then try and accelerate. So you want to come up level, and it'll bring you right around really late apex. And then when you're about here, you start getting back on the gas, but make sure your car's completely straight in first gear before you start getting really hard back on the gas, as you definitely want to get a good run out of this one, as the first corner will be somewhere where people will definitely be overtaking. So we'll just go through this one again in real time. So coming back in, about a car and a half length before the end of the curbing there. Nice late apex. I probably could have gone a bit closer there, as I was trying to get a really late one. But I'm on the single screen as well, so I've got like this little part of the right-hand door window where I can look out and go, oh, am I close enough? So yeah, it's a little bit tricky at the moment, but yeah, as you can see, they're coming around later apex. Keep it in. I probably could have stayed on the brakes a little bit longer than that, just to get myself nice and tight next to that wall. So if you come around it and you come in here and you start accelerating here, you got all that track just to get your acceleration done, and coming out to the left-hand side of the track just to get a really good run out of there. As you'll see, so coming out, get the car completely turned before you get on the gas, and you want to be in a nice straight line.
I've done a 18.
So back over the straight start finish
Mustang.
line. Well done, Daniel. All right, guys, that's another track guide. I hope it's helped as usual. For any questions, leave in the description or in the comments, or message me on Discord. 7:45, the stream will be starting on Thursday. Make sure you tune in for that. 8:15, I think it is, everywhere else in Australia. But yeah, make sure you tune in for that. I'll have the chat going so we can have a bit of a talk. But once again, it's another one, and can't wait to see you in the race. Cheers, guys.